So next week, I'm taking this Mokwheel to Florida. And before I travel hundreds and heck, thousands of miles, I want to check it out, make sure it's going smooth. I've been borrowing parts off of it to customers at the bike shop. It's time to get it together, get things ready for a little adventure. I want to touch on the 7 things I go through whenever I'm checking out a bike, whether it's on my personal bike or a bike at the bike shop. Now, because I took the seat post, the saddle, and the shifter off on this bike, kind of brings up a good point, which is the comfort and the setup. A lot of times, our bikes just aren't comfortable, and this is a perfect chance to make it right before you go on a trip. So what do? I'm gonna get the seat post on, the saddle on, make sure the height feels right, make sure the saddle angle is where I want it. At the same time, I'm gonna adjust the grips and the controls. Just make sure everything's comfy and is sitting right where I want it to be. If the bike doesn't feel right here, the ride's not gonna be fun, no matter where you're at. I'm gonna jump in for a second. Last week, I showed the basic tools I carry when I go on a ride. I've got that linked up above if you wanna check it out. All right, next up, brakes and safety items. I already know that the front rotor is a little bit loose, so I'm gonna take care of that right now. I'll torque that down. I'll give both brakes a squeeze, make sure they feel solid, and I'll take a quick peek at those brake pads as well. Using a flashlight really helps there. It is kind of in a shadowy spot, but you can see how much wear is on those pads. I'll also double check the lights, the brakes, and the headlamp, especially if you're going somewhere new. It's just something you don't want to overlook. All right, let's get into the functioning of the bike. I'll get my shifter back on, route the cable, and run the bike through the gears. I just want to make sure it's shifting clean, no skipping, no hesitation. A bike that shifts a little rough at home usually shifts worse once you're out on a ride. Now I'm going to go ahead and lube the chain. It's quick, but it makes a big difference, especially if your bike's been sitting around or if you transported it. Just think about what you're gonna do. You're gonna be putting it on the back of a vehicle. The wind, the mud, the road grime is all gonna get collected up on that bike. Having a little bit of lube on the chain is gonna make it so much better later. All right, I want you to do this one days before your trip, and that is air up the tires. That way, if one's low later on, you know you've got a slow leak and you can deal with it before you load the bikes up. I'll also do a quick bolt check. Nothing crazy, just the important stuff. The headset, handlebars, stem, and pedals. Just make sure everything's snug. It only takes a minute. Doing it now is so much better than doing it while you're out on a trip. All right, let's hit on the battery, charger, and suspension. Before our trips, I always fully charge the batteries. I transport them in the vehicle. And just as important, I make sure I got those chargers packed. Forgetting a charger when you're hundreds of miles from home is just a bummer. And if your bike has air suspension like my wife's does, I'll double check that pressure too. So I'm gonna have plenty of tools with me. I'm a bike mechanic, but a little bit of planning ahead, going through that 7-point checklist is gonna put me on that trailhead, and I'm gonna be riding that first morning versus tinkering around fixing something at the last minute. If you enjoyed this, I would love it if you subscribed. I'm trying to grow this channel, share what I love about these fantastic machines. As always, keep pedaling.